Gundogan has left Barcelona and rejoined Manchester City. And I understand that it is the transfer window and players leave teams. But this is not just any other transfer. It is a bit more than that. Because the whole situation with Gundogan shows an image of Barcelona which, to be honest, is not a good one. So in this video, we will talk about İlkay Gündoğan, we will break down the reasons as to why he left the club within a year from joining them, and discuss the broader picture that this transfer creates of Barcelona. So without any further ado, let's begin our video. Now I'll begin this with talking about Gundogan, because he was not just any average player that signed for Barcelona and didn't work. Before Barca, he was a Manchester City player for 7 years. 7 years where Man City for many was the best club in the world. With Man City, he had won 2 FA Cups, 2 Community Shield, 4 Carabao Cups, 5 Premier League titles and 1 Champions League. Before which, he played for Dortmund in a league dominated by Bayern Munich. And still, he was the part of that Dortmund team that won the Bundesliga and DFB Pokal once and German Super Cup twice. So he was a winner, and it was not like Barca bought him after he slowed down. My man was 32 when he joined them, and his outcome was not bad either. More often than not, Gundogan was the most reliable player in Barcelona. He was a top performer, with every attacking metric like key passes, through balls or progressive carries on a higher side compared to other players in his position. And being a midfielder, he had 19 goal contributions for Barca in one season, scoring goals against big teams like Real Madrid or Girona. And apart from that, he was also the German Player of the Year. So the point is, he was not washed up or an unmotivated player who was just there to fill the squad. İlkay Gündoğan was a top performer in a Barca side which, to be honest, lacked veterans and experienced players. So why was he allowed to leave Barca? Let us discuss the reasons at length. Some people say that Hansi Flick's style of football was not in line with Gundogan's style of play. But I don't believe that to be the reason, so I'm not getting into that. Barca's financial struggles and them buying Dani Olmo was of course a major reason, which we'll discuss at length in our next point. But before that, I want to talk about a few incidents that happened during his first year at Barcelona. After their first El Clasico in October, which Barca lost by 1-2 in their home, Gundogan questioned the attitude of his teammates, saying, "After such a big game and such result, I wish there was more anger, frustration and disappointment." End quote. Now we have to understand that Gundogan is a German who has played under Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp. So commitment and hard work would obviously be something which he is going to expect from his teammates. But he saw that fire was missing in this Barca team, and this won't be the last time where he pointed out their lack of commitment. In their second Clasico, which was going to be a very crucial match as a loss meant that Real Madrid were almost the La Liga winners, and Barca lost that match again by 3-2. And after the match, Gundo almost repeated what he said after the earlier loss. He said, "Of course people are disappointed in the dressing room, but after a game of this magnitude, I wish for more frustration and more anger." Now he wanted a reaction from his teammates, but demanding such reactions is not common within Barcelona. Remember how Xavi, after many poor results, kept on saying that the team played well, and there was this player questioning the attitude of his teammates. I think these incidents were not accepted very well by the Barca hierarchy. But I guess it reached the boiling point when he questioned Ronald Araujo after he took a red card against PSG in the Champions League semi-finals. He didn't shy away from pointing out his mistake, saying, "In these crucial moments, you have to be sure that you get the ball back, or you have to let it go. I'd rather concede a goal or let the ball go." Then Araujo responded in a cryptic manner, and Xavi was constantly questioned if there is a feud between the two and when will it be solved. So the point is, Gundogan, as any other senior player, expected more from his teammates. And he was vocal about it. Now people will have different opinions on whether he should have said this publicly or not, but one thing we learned from Xavi's departure is Barca management does not take lightly if the problems of the club are discussed publicly. Now I've explained this at length in the mentioned video, but Barca management and president wants their fans to see Barca as a well-run club competing for the highest trophies, and any narrative beyond that can bring you trouble. So Gundogan being critical of his teammates would not have gone very well with the Barca management. Now most football fans know that Barcelona is going through financial problems, under which they cannot register players if their wages does not fit within the salary cap that has been allowed for Barcelona. And it is the same for every club in La Liga. This limit is directly proportionate to their earnings. So to put it simply, to register more players, they have to increase their wage limit. And to increase that, they have to make more money, which to be honest has been a problem for Barcelona right now. The salary cap was reduced from £558 million to £232 million in the start of 2023-24 campaign, and it got further reduced to £175 million in January according to The Athletic. So to deal with this problem, Barca did stuff like selling part of their assets, made free or loan transfers, or pulling some other levers. But now in the midst of all this financial crisis, they decided to bring Dani Olmo for 60 million euros, who was not even a necessity at Barcelona, because they already had players who will occupy the same position as Olmo. Now maybe Barca did this because their rival Real Madrid were buying players like Kylian Mbappe, and Barca couldn't even bring the much talked about winger Nico Williams, and they wanted to give their fans a reason to be optimistic. But anyways, this felt like a rather uncalculated signing. Anyways, right now, La Liga has reached its second match day, and Dani Olmo is not yet registered for Barcelona. Now I believe that there was a plan to bolster the finances, like they sold 25% of club's domestic TV revenue to US private equity firm 6th Street, and there could have been more similar moves, but as of now, they have failed to register Dani Olmo. So taking Gundogan's wages off the books may help Barca registering their star signing of the summer. And this also could have been a reason why they in a way pushed Gundogan out of the club. Now on a side note, reports say that even after Gundo's departure, Barca needs more funds to register Dani Olmo. So we will see what happens there. Now moving on to next point. Now I want to talk about this situation and how it reflects an image of Barcelona which is questionable. See, any club operating at this level must be difficult to manage, and I understand their financial troubles, but the stature of Barcelona is greater than what we are seeing right now. The way they have been operating is like a mediocre club. From handling Messi's situation to selling their assets, the decisions they have taken under this regime are disappointing. And I'm not even talking about Bartomeu's era. Even this case about Gundogan, people are trying to brush it off, saying he did not fit Hansi Flick's system, so it's good that he's leaving. But I don't agree with them. Both are German, and Gundogan has traits to play in a pressing system which is preferred by the manager. And Flick himself said that he is expecting Gundogan to be on his team, so this narrative is just papering the cracks. But if it were the case, and Flick really wanted Gundogan out, why didn't they do it earlier in the window? They could have got some good offers then, and Barca may have had money to register Dani Olmo, and who knows, they could have had some spare amount to lure players like Nico Williams as well. So this of course is something decided in the final days of transfer window, again showing how mismanaged this club is. Then the way Barca have treated the players who are not from their academy is downright disrespectful. Starting with Frankie de Jong, he was forced to reduce his wages, he refused, then they tried pushing him out of the club. Then did the same with Dembele, forcing him to reduce his wages. Griezmann spent his worst time at this club, and same with Coutinho. They could not create any sort of value for players like Joao Felix and Cancelo. Inigo Martinez, who they signed just last year, is leaving. And do I even have to talk about Vitor Roque's situation? See, I understand that Barca produces good players through their academy, and I do not doubt that it is the best academy in the world right now. But you all saw what happened with Pedri, Ansu Fati, and now Xavi, and now they rely on Lamine Yamal for trophies. See, the point is, a team of Barca's stature cannot put all the pressure in shoulders of 17-year-olds. See, those guys are good players for their age, but development is a gradual process. And if it's not done correctly, it can destroy careers of those young players. You need experienced players, players who bring something different from what you have in the academy. Now the image that Barca have created lately is not of a club operating at a top level. Now we don't talk about the beautiful football that Barca used to play, we talk about their problems, their financial struggles, how they mistreat their players, and how mismanaged the club is. And if this continues for long, players will have question about joining Barcelona. Now those were my thoughts on the broader picture created by Gundogan's transfer. But let me know yours, and I'd be happy to discuss and will respond to every single comment. Like this video and subscribe to Football Ledger for more. See you on the next one. Ciao.